Hello, this is Miss Pat from San Luis Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to try and make our pictures float. Not exactly off the page, but off a plate. Our story today is called Andrew Draws by David McPhail. Andrew found a crayon under the sofa. He picked it up and began to make scribbles on the floor. Not good. "Stop," said his mother. "You don't draw there." Andrew's grandmother came to the rescue. She gave him a pad of paper to draw on. After that, Andrew drew and drew. At first, it was hard to tell what Andrew had drawn. "What a pretty flower," his mother said. "It's a dog," said Andrew. But Andrew kept at it. Andrew drew just about anywhere. He drew animals at the zoo. He drew fish and penguins at the aquarium. And at the art museum, Andrew copied the paintings he liked most. One day, Andrew drew a picture of a bird and gave it to his grandmother. The bird flew right off the page and landed on her shoulders. "Oh my," she said. Then Andrew drew a cat for his mom. "Thank you," she said. "I've always wanted a cat." Andrew drew a big soft chair for his father. "I like it," said his father. "It's very comfortable." Word of Andrew's amazing ability spread. Even the president heard about it. He called Andrew on the telephone. "There are many problems in the world," said the president. "Perhaps you can fix them." Andrew agreed to try. He drew a picture of some trucks filled with food for hungry people. And one of a big ship loaded with supplies for people whose homes had been washed away by a flood. He drew pictures of schools and hospitals and sent them where they were needed. Andrew drew so many pictures that his crayon wore down to his stub, and his paper was nearly used up. With his last bit of crayon and his final sheet of paper, Andrew made a drawing for himself. What do you think he's going to draw? Because everything comes to life here. He drew a dog. Okay. So we are going to talk about dry erase markers. Okay. And you've probably seen them in school. Might even have some at home. And we are going to talk about why some markers will stick and some markers won't. Right? Have you ever wished that your drawings could come to life? Right? And maybe the stick figures, the objects on your paper could move around. Right? And if you look at this picture, that's exactly what these guys are doing. They're kind of moving around. They're stick figures, huh? All right, so how do markers work? There's all different kinds of markers, right? So the ink in all the markers is made of three things. Okay, one, is color pigments, different colors, right? Different pigments. The other is a chemical solvent or rubbing alcohol. And the third is a polymer or release agent. Okay, so three things. They all have rubbing alcohol. They all have color pigments. The polymer is what's going to be different between the dry erase marker and the permanent marker, right? The kind of polymer or kind of release agent is what's different. So permanent markers use an acrylic polymer that sticks to stuff. So when you draw on things, it's not coming off, right? Even when you rub it. And when you rub water, it's still not coming off. It's got an acrylic polymer that makes it stick. Dry erase markers, though, have an oily silicone polymer. That allows you to wipe it off with your finger, or an eraser, or a paper towel. You don't even need water, unless you put it on your clothes, then everything sticks. Okay, so don't put them on your clothes. So it's the kind of polymer. The oily polymer keeps the color pigment from sticking to the surface. And then when you put water on it, sometimes the water can slip under the drawing and it lifts it up because the ink is lighter than the water. Okay, and we've talked about density before. So sometimes it'll get underneath and it'll lift it up. Dry erase markers can stick to some surfaces permanently though, like clothes, especially if they got pores in them. What they mean by pores is little tiny holes. In your clothes, you know, you have holes in them, right? Not giant big holes, but all clothes are made out of thread. And there's always going to be little holes that you may not see, but that's what the marker can stick in. Fabrics don't have a smooth surface and the ink can get soaked into it and it stains them. Now, I will tell you, besides this video, if you guys want to see a couple of adults do this on the Channel 9 News, go check out Steve Spangler's videos, because there's going to be about 5 or 6 adults. They drew these big pictures on plates. Not fancy, nice little stick figure. Okay, and then they're going to make them float. Now, there's red stuff here. I'll tell you right now, that was hair. The hair started floating before the picture did. But let me show you what I mean by floating. And we're going to try a couple of different things. Okay, so you've all seen dry erase boards. Right? Dry erase. That's because of the silicons, the oily silicone stuff that's in here. Okay, so I can make it disappear. This is a plastic plate. I'm just going to put it in front of this so that you can see what I drew on it. Okay, because it's kind of hard to see. Oh, I guess I can do it like that on the wall. Okay. Then I can make it disappear. But how do I make them float? Well, it's been a little weird because I've been trying this on a whole bunch of different things. Now, these are my plates from home. Okay. I'm going to draw a heart on each of the other things. Okay. Now, I do have to get because we're going to pour some water. That's all it says you have to do is pour water. Okay, I've just filled up this bottle with water. We're going to pour that on there. Now, I could do that on the plate, and that would hold the water. Can't exactly do it on the board, because then it's going to be all over the place. So make sure that if you do this stuff at home, if you have a flat edge thing like this, like if you have a dry erase board at home, don't do this on your table. Maybe do it above the sink, or in the sink, or in the bathtub. And if you do it with the dishes, I would still do it near the sink because you gotta be really careful you don't make a mess, right? So let me go get a tub to put this in. All right, so I have a tub. Hopefully my thing is going to fit in here. Not exactly, but it won't. If it spills, at least it will definitely be inside of my Tupperware and not all over my table, right? So I already showed you I can erase off of all of these. Technically, it's supposed to work on all of them. Now, don't try this on stuff at home. There is no kit this week because I don't have material that I know it will work with. I know which one of these it will work with. Apparently, it doesn't work with all three, and it should. So there is no kit to go home. If you want to try this at home, make sure you have parent permission. And make sure they're dry erase markers because permanent markers do not come off with water, fingers, anything like that. Okay, so let's see. Try and make this a little bit more balanced. Ooh, one of these, that one just fell off. Okay, so part of that one came off. Move that down there. Gonna put this one in. And apparently, today they're all gonna try. So you can see that the head is moving. The heart is not. Whoops. Now he's kind of moving. You can see him in my water. It's kind of moving around in there. Now I have a headless guy. Then, you know what? I'm not going to put this one in here. I'm going to put this one right there. Notice I'm not pouring the water right on the picture. Now this works the best. This is a Corelle dish, not a ceramic dish. And as I blow, the pictures are moving around. Okay, so again, dry erase markers. Okay, these ones kind of gave some. Remember my okay, so part of my person came off here. My head came off of here. Okay, but the other parts, they'll only come off if I mean, they still come off if I rub my hand on them, but they weren't floating. The only ones that were floating were these ones. And you can either use a straw or you can just blow. And they're going to move. Now, if you can draw a picture I wouldn't try and draw a really complicated picture, because then they're going to start. Remember that guy's head with his red hair? His red hair kind of came off and it wasn't attached to the person. Just like my head here kind of came off and it wasn't attached to my person. So, but you can, if you have different color dry erase markers, right, like these, you could try and make a rainbow and maybe it'll stick. If you don't have the colors overlapping though, you might have different colors all over the place. You can try and make a kite or a boat, see if they float, but kind of keep it simple, right? Stick figure, not the eyes and the nose, because again, if the eyes and the nose come off, they're going to kind of float past the face. They're not going to be part of the face anymore, right? So these are things you can try at home. Try on plastic. You might see some videos where they can do it on the back of a plastic spoon. Now I have tried that. Again, if I make my person here, okay. And they've taken this and they've just dipped it right into a bowl of water and the person just floats right off. Okay, so I've seen lots of these kind of videos and you guys can try that. And I'm going to kind of lay my spoon down there and put lots of water in and see. All right, my plastic spoon is floating, however, so I'm going to float him upside down. And I'm going to kind of wiggle him around and see if he comes off the spoon, and he doesn't. Now I'm not scraping the bottom, but he's still there. And watch. He does come off, but I can't get him to come off the plastic. And to be honest, that's the first time that I had the head come off of this plastic. Okay, so try different things if you like. If you guys came into the thing that came into Science Scouts in person, then you got a chance to try this with me, because I'm going to bring my dishes in. And you know, my grandkids love to take these, and then they'll take this picture and they watch these guys, and then they just put them down the kitchen drain, right? Because they're just going to kind of float off. Oh, look at that, his head got stuck. But now he's gone. Okay. There's lots of pieces in here. So the next time you guys use dry erase markers, or your teacher uses them, tell me know why they erase so easy. It's because they have an oily silicone polymer that wipes off. But the permanent markers, they have an acrylic polymer and they stick to everything. All right, have fun, and I will see you next week. We're going to talk about invisible messages. Okay, sending things that nobody else can see unless they know how to make the invisible ink show up. All right, have fun.